Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel if you are a new listener, and to everyone who has listened to me before, a very warm welcome also. I am thrilled to be with you again, and in this upload I will be discussing a topic that is really special to me because it helped me to move forward at times when I felt completely stuck. I'm still recording on my phone, by the way, because it's so easy to do. And I know I did say I wouldn't do that once I'd moved, and I have moved, but it's, as I say, it's so easy to use the phone. But as usual, please ignore any superfluous sounds. This concept, which I called the gift of a new day, is based on the principle of indifference, which is an esoteric or foundational principle, as we all know. But I'm going to take it to a new level, which will make sense when you hear the exercise a bit later. So it's indifference, but in the context of the authority bestowed at a very special point of each new day. And we can use this to free ourselves of any attachment to literally any undesirable circumstance, event, or condition, no matter what they may be. Now, consent to this position does take a lot of courage and discipline because of the way in which we live our lives. We make sense of the events and circumstances of our lives through context, and the vast majority of the time we are invested in things that have happened to us because of the emotional currency involved. For instance, it is common to hear people say that their experiences have shaped or in some cases defined them. You may have felt that same way yourself. You may be someone who is holding a grudge or a sense of injustice that you can't forgive. Well, as Neville tells us, to think of such things, that's to say to re-experience those things through emotion, is to reinfect ourselves with their effects. Now, we are coming to the close of a year, and if we are mandated to continue on into 2021, we don't want to take any undesirable events, circumstances, or conditions with us. We want to step into all that's good and awaiting our consent. And I really want to drive this point home because the habit of perpetuating past traumas through emotional attachment or the use of negative emotional vocabulary can be so effective as to undo any efforts you're making to transform your life, even if you're faithfully employing the techniques of metaphysical prayer. So what is the gift of a new day and how do we use it? Well, first we turn to the Bible and the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 to 23 or 22 to 24, depending on the version you use. And it says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. So let's break that down. Steadfast love of the Lord, we know, means the perpetual condition of non-judgment. Remember, love is directly proportional to non-judgment, which is very difficult for us as human beings. The Lord, or living law, is consciousness in flow or in operation, and a state that we as our dimensionally greater selves are always in, or one that our human aspects have continuous access to. Then mercies, we know, esoterically means either gift or instruction, but in this context specifically, it also refers to the singularity of all things. And I cannot go into it more than that, so I hope it suffices to say that this is what these elements of the passage mean. They never come to an end refers to the infinite nature of consciousness or God, which ties into the infinite states available to us. So if you think about it, infinite gifts means infinite states. And finally, it says that they are new every morning, which is a little different because this part of the passage is actually a directive, and I'll come back to that. And then it says, great is thy faithfulness, or magna est fidus tua, which is a traditional closing of this type of passage. It's a bit like saying, so shall it be. It's reverential, a reverential acknowledgement of what has just been said, or what, as I say, is a directive. So after you've said all of that, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Magna est fidus tua, or great is thy faithfulness, is that way of closing that off in real reverential fashion. So statements of fact, like They are new every morning. I said I was going to come back to that. Or, as I've said, always directives or instructions, which, without going into too much detail, tells us quite simply that we are required to do something with this information. So that passage, that part of the passage, they are new every morning, is an instruction for us to do something with what we've just been told. And for all of you who interpret the Bible clairvoyantly, you can attest to what I've just said. So please feel free to do that in the comment section below if you like. Now, when we are spoken to in this way, we can rest assured that there is something in it for us. However, the only way to discover what that something is to follow the instruction given. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. And that's just one way. You can do it in a number of ways, but it's really effective. So let's move on now to how we can use the power of the new day, or the complete 24-hour rotation of the Earth on its axis, to access the authority that supports us in severing ties with whatever it is holding us back in a more deeply esoteric way. And as I say, I'm sharing this because we're coming to the end of 2020, and I want us to go, if we're mandated to live into 2021, to go into that year different people, completely severed or disconnected from the things that have held us back in the past. So this exercise is performed in the moment just following the point at which you regain consciousness in the morning. And you'll be familiar with it. It's that palpable moment when you wake up, and it's just before sort of thoughts start flooding in and jostling for space and attention. So in that moment, you can do the exercise I'm about to share with you. Now, obviously, if you've overslept and you need to rush off, you probably won't be able to or won't want to do this. So do wait until you have time to commit, and then try to work this into your week. Make it a morning ritual if you can. It's not difficult to do once you get the hang of it, and it's actually something that comes quite naturally once you've been using it for a while. So this is the exercise itself. So what you're going to do when you wake up at that moment I've just described, you're going to take a deep breath, and with your eyes closed, you're going to notice that what you see has no distinct shape or tone to it, so that it's just a vastness, and the color of this vastness is going to be a deep gray. Now, there may be patches of lighter gray, but it will be gray. Now, if you're looking out and what you see is a body of water, it might look like it's sort of quite a dramatic sort of sea, but you're going to notice that the water is gray. And if it's sort of water with a sky, you're going to notice that that space above the water is grey. If you're in the water, again, it will be grey. Or you may just be looking out at a vast empty space, which will be in this same sort of dramatic grey tone. And all you have to do while you're looking out into this greyness is to notice how you're feeling as you are lying still. And then simply allow, which means that you're not looking for anything in particular, but allow whatever comes up to come up. It may be a thought, it may be an idea, it may be a feeling, it may be a sensation. Just allow it to come up. But you're going to be aware that there is an activity or an event or something happening at a distance away from you. So you're going to notice whatever it is that comes up as being away from you, as though you're looking at it in the distance, and what you're going to see are flashes of light. Now, the light will be muted by the greyness, and they will occur in different spaces at a distance away from you in the greyness. So don't do anything, just allow this to happen. And so as you lie there, just breathe, allow it to happen. As I say, breathe normally. You can use the in through your nose, out through your mouth if you like. Don't think about it too much. Just stay relaxed and allow it to happen. Now, after a short while, the greyness will begin to give way to light. Light will begin to break through and break up the greyness. And then colour will begin to penetrate the greyness. And as this increases in intensity, you'll notice that you're becoming more and more awake, and this will increase until you are fully aware of your surroundings. You're fully awake. And once you're fully awake, you can take a nice deep breath in and breathe out, and then start your day. Get up and start your day as normal. Now, this is an esoteric exercise. It doesn't require a lot of thought from you on the human side. Your dimensionally greater aspect knows exactly what's going on. All that you are required to do on the human side is participate. Now, remember to say thank you if you'd like, but just feel that this was something that you were fully engaged and immersed in. The grayness that you are looking at is actually yesterday, the day that you lived through prior. And you are witnessing what happens to it mentally as you begin a new day. So that's what you're seeing. Some of you may be familiar with what Neville describes when he talks about suspending himself above his body before he fully revives and sort of gets up and gets active. It's very similar to that, but what you're witnessing is the day you had lived through previously. Now, it's very important that you don't try to feel after those flashes or figure out what they were or give them any attention whatsoever. They were being absorbed. That's the event you were witnessing. You're witnessing a psychological event. And as I said, all that was required from you was your physical participation. It's a very special exercise. It's a very special something that happens. All I can implore you to do is to try it. So as I described the scene changing and sort of light breaking through and then color breaking through, that's the scene sort of becoming vibrant. So when it's become vibrant and you feel awake, if you feel slightly headachy, that's normal. Try to relax, take some deep breaths, drink plenty of water. So these kinds of exercises, these deeper esoteric exercises, can take a little getting used to. But the whole thing, which shouldn't have taken you more than 5 to 10 minutes, is immensely powerful, immensely effective. And as I say, you don't need to do anything after you have done it. You just go about your daily business. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this will be easy for everyone when you first try it, but I do implore you to try it, as I've said already. What's going to happen as you go through the day that follows the day that lies out ahead of you, is that the events you witnessed as being absorbed will show up, but you will notice that you feel differently about them. You might feel actually quite odd relative to them. Now, it will take some doing to completely ignore things. So, this odd feeling is that you don't really want to give your attention to something. Sometimes you may feel able to completely ignore them. If you can do that, do that. If you don't feel confident about ignoring things, then you can always repeat the process or revise that feeling of wanting to get involved, whether it was a quarrel or some kind of financial issue, whatever it might be. You can revise that moment, or you can just, as I say, repeat the process again. Like I said, it does take discipline to believe that the dimensionally greater self has no further use for that conditional circumstance. And that's what you were witnessing as you were looking at this grayness. And you have to sort of get to the point where you're believing that what that event that was absorbed is replaced with is actually better for you. But as I say, it does take some getting used to. I hope it's clear. The exercise itself is very, very straightforward. Go back to the recording where I've described it and listen to it again. And then that's all you need to do. Things will be resolved on their own. In my case, it's been, if it's, let's say, a financial issue that was bothering me, I would get a call that day or an email to say that the matter was closed, or I'd feel urged to make a phone call or take some action, and taking it at that moment that I'm urged to take it resolve things in my favor, something like that. So like I say, go about your normal daily business. Don't think about what you witnessed. Just allow things to go. Feel good. You could find that you sit down to make a call or something and you get a really surprising response from the person on the other end. Good surprising. Just a couple of days ago, when I did it out of the blue, someone told me that they had really good news for me. And it was really good news. But like I say, it's not something you're looking for. You're just going about your normal business, having participated in this event. Now, I'm not minimalizing the effect on your physical body of doing this. I'm just trying to keep it normal, natural, straightforward to you. But like I say, if you feel odd, just accept that this is the work of your dimensionally greater self. And as I say, this technique applies to absolutely anything. So whatever it is that's bothering you that you've lived through one day will be absorbed. It would actually take you to go and to reanimate it, to, as Neville says, to reinfect yourself, to bring that thing back into your life. But actually, it's gone. It will disappear from your life and you won't have to do anything about it. But before you get to that stage, take these steps, just practice these exercises and start to notice how things are changing in your life without you having to lift a finger to change them. Okay, so there it is. Please use this powerful foundational gift. It is an immense resource, an immense use of your power and authority, and it will yield results that far exceed your expectations. So this is the end of the transmission. This has been an original Kate Jigeni presentation. Please feel free to ask any questions, post comments in the section below. Enjoy these gifts that you have been born with. Just exercise your power. Until we are together again, stay phenomenally you.